So how would you say he is now after 2 years of practice? Because I saw him the other day and he's a completely transformed child. He's gorgeous.
He's a completely transformed child. And so many people want to know, what did I do? And how did this happen and everything? And so it has been a lot of hard work, just consistency. And it has been also changes with our diet and things and our lifestyle, just slowing down and not doing all the things that a lot of other families might do with all the sports and all the school things and everything. It is just a slowing down, but to have a transformed child, have a different family life, like, it's so worth it. He's kind and loving, and he's not bouncing off the walls. He's not hyper. Just the potty training happened. Bedwetting stopped. He can focus. He wants to learn things. His motor skills are wonderful now. I mean, he loves sports and playing basketball. His school is just very advanced. He does advanced math. He learned to read. He taught himself to read. I mean, really, really, he's amazing.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you. Nice to see you.
So we're talking about your experience as a mother of a child learning the practice. If you'd like to say something about you first and how you came to the method and how important you felt it was.
Yes, I learned about Utako method through my holistic dentist over 4 years ago. And my family was having lots of health problems. And we had sought after so many solutions through naturopaths and functional medicine practitioners, and even some strange and out there people, and to try to help our health situation. We had changed our diet. We had done the paleo keto GAPS diet. We had done the organic, growing our own food and having our own chickens and beef and all of that. And we still had so many health problems. After the birth of my fourth child, my son, Matthew, which really showed our health problems, then I started just seeking solutions, and was interested in a Buteyko method, especially from my dentist, had experienced improvement in her health. So 4 years ago, I started practicing. I had 2 girls who also started to practice, and we were all greatly helped by it. Just my children's had less tears. They could handle stress better. Their learning improved, their anxiety improved, food sensitivities improved, digestion improved, constipation went away, more energy, definitely more energy. There was more of a calmness and peace that we could experience. Yeah, we could just handle life better.
And then you've got a little one who was about 2 years old when you started, and he was having various health problems.
It was very stressful during the time when he was an infant and toddler, trying to find solutions to his health problems. We had gone to the pediatrician, the allergist, the gastroenterologist, the chiropractor, then the naturopath and the homeopath, and just various people to try to find out solutions for the autism symptoms that he was having. We even had therapists in our home, just with a program called Babies Can't Wait, and the occupational therapist and the feeding therapist. And he was having major feeding issues, food avoidance, and lack of eye contact, and motor skill problems, and speech loss. So I was just trying to find solutions for his many health problems at such a young age. It was very stressful on me. So having the doing the breathing method just helped me and my body calm back down, and then be able to help him.
So then once you've been practicing a while and the girls have been practicing for a while and he got a bit older, I remember about 2 years ago, he came to a workshop, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah, I came with him because we had done so many things, even with herbs and homeopathy and some supplements. It was huge. It made a huge difference. So he was 4 at the time, and he had trouble with a lot of hyperactivity. He had some bedwetting and like not normal boy energy. He was like he was jumping all over the furniture and bothering people on purpose, and just not really fun to be around, just hyper, and couldn't really take him any places because he was just, bouncing off the walls kind of. I mean, literally we built him a climbing wall in his room so he would not climb up the walls in the house and stuff. So he had a outlet to use some of his activity. I mean, we got him a little trampoline in his room. It was like over the top hyperactive. Just felt there was that infection, that underlying infection that had to be dealt with, that still wasn't being dealt with the herbs and everything that we were doing, that the breathing method would help him.
You said earlier that you, having learnt the method, enabled you to help him. What would you, can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yes. So in the class, there were adults in the class. The adults and the children are together, and Matthew was the only child. And so, it being a busy class, the instructor has a lot of people to deal with, that I was able to better help Matthew because I was already doing the practice. The practitioner could talk to me and I would completely understand what he was saying. And I would go, oh yes, and then we were off to the races, really, with Matthew doing his steps and his breath holding, like I understood and could help Matthew and knew what to do.
What were his steps like when he first started? How many could he do? I think you kept a record of it, didn't you?
Yes, I kept a record of his first 20 days with the practice. And in the beginning, he could do between 15 and 25 steps at the most during the day. And he was supposed to sit still at the end of his steps. Well, first of all, we would tape his mouth, very light and breathable tape. So there's not a problem with the child's mouth or anything. It's not a torture or anything, which I thought it kind of, as his mother, I was like, I have to tape his mouth, that's cruel or abuse or something, but it's very gentle. And, they can even take it off if they really wanted to. But so we would tape his mouth, and then I had to hold his nose as we did the steps and everything. And then I would count his steps, and then we would come back and we would sit down and I would hold him in my lap. And for however many seconds, we had a little timer for however, tried to see how long that he could go, and to see if he could have good sitting still, because that was a major problem. He couldn't sit still. And at first it was just a few seconds that he could sit still. But that progressively got better. At first he would cry and he didn't want to do it and he was angry and everything, but everything seemed to get better. The more the steps that he could do increased, his sitting still increased, and his behavior, his attitude improved. So we kept doing it and kept doing it and kept, practicing. And no matter what it looked like, no matter how bad it looked, we kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And knew that it was just with the consistency. You know, I knew it from even my own practice. It's just the consistency and keep going that that we saw things improve.
Mm-hmm. And then after 3 weeks or so, you said you kept records.
Mhm.
What did he get to after 3 weeks?
After 3 weeks, he got to 75 steps,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote that he had great sitting, that he was cranky at the beginning of his section when he started, but that he was happy at the end. So that's really wonderful.
And how long would that happiness last?
Well, I guess it lasted longer and longer, but I could definitely tell when he needed to do his breathing again.
Mm-hmm.
And even still, after 2 years of practice, I can tell when he needs to do his breathing again. Which is the same for me. We're busy, we have things going on in our lives, and I'm start heavy breathing and I need to do my practice again.
Mm-hmm. So how would you say he is now after 2 years of practice? Because I saw him the other day and he's a completely transformed child. He's gorgeous.
He's a completely transformed child. And so many people want to know, what did I do? And how did this happen and everything? And so it has been a lot of hard work, just consistency. And it has been also changes with our diet and things and our lifestyle, just slowing down and not doing all the things that a lot of other families might do with all the sports and all the school things and everything. It is just a slowing down, but you know, to have a transformed child, have a different family life, like it's so worth it. It's just
Right.
worth all the work and everything that you put into it. You get out of it just a transformation. Um, so yeah, his behavior is he's kind and loving, and he's not bouncing off the walls, he's not hyper. You know, just the potty training happened, the bedwetting stopped, he can focus, he wants to learn things. And um his school is just very advanced. He does advanced math, he learned to read, he taught himself to read. I mean, really, really, he's amazing, just all his learning and behavior and um everything, all the changes,
And
things
he's
he can
interested.
do.
He's interested.
Yes, he's interested, he can focus. And his motor skills are wonderful now. I mean, he loves sports and playing basketball. Accuracy at doing things is wonderful. And I mean, he couldn't even, like, if you asked him a question, he couldn't remember even the question. He would repeat the question. It's called echolalia, where you would either just repeat the question and not remember what you did that day. But then he could tell you what he did in a day and just have a good memory. And yeah, just so different. It's wonderful. And also, he loves friends now. He enjoys people, enjoys spending time with his friends. Whenever people come to the door bringing the packages, he says, "Hello, how are you? What's your name?" and tells him about what's going on with him. And he just loves people. And so there's no problems with eye contact anymore. He's confident. Um there's only times, like, if he's stressed about something, if he feels like he did something wrong or something, where he might not look at you, which is a normal response to stress. But now he's very confident and happy. um there's no motor skill problems, or he can do team sports. It's wonderful getting along with people and sharing. um yeah, it's wonderful.
I just thought he was just beautiful, smiling, beaming, happy
Yeah.
child.
Yes.
No sign of distress at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
How did you actually keep him going all that time? I mean, he's been practicing 2 years. How did you manage to keep him?
Yeah. Yeah, I've used some things to help motivate him. I've used money to help motivate him, that he's earned coins, and it's very simple, not very much. Even he earns a nickel for getting 90 steps now. It was kind of like a a goal that I wanted him to reach. I wanted him to get 100 steps. Oh, you're going to get a dime. Now you're going to get 10 cents instead of 5 cents, and so those little coins, oh, if you get this, you earn a quarter, 25 cents or something. And so it'll earn that money to be able to go buy his little prizes at the dollar store. Um, so he really enjoyed that. Or I've made a chart to help him doing his steps, and then he can see his progress. And we've had to change it up a little bit from steps to, we'll do trampoline jumps or different things like that too. And then he gets to do different things even during his steps. His steps are not, you have to do these steps. Like sometimes he's twirling and he's jumping and he's running, and just kind of, he's free to kind of have his own style.
Yeah. Yeah. So you sort of turn it into a game.
Yes. Yeah. So he can have fun with it, but then he also can earn money with it.
Uh-huh.
It keeps him motivated.
So he's 6 now, is he?
Yes.
And how many steps is he doing now?
Yes, he's doing at least 90 steps. He's practicing 4 times a day. And so I know even if we had time even for a 5th set, which would be recommended by Buteyko, I'm sure, to get those, how many breath holds in a day, that he would recommend that, 100 steps would be not a problem. And we've been there before where Matthew has done 100 steps. So this last summer in July, Matthew fell at his granddaddy's swimming pool, hit his head on the side of the pool, where it wasn't concrete, but it was like the plastic liner of the pool. Thankfully, it was just not the concrete. Hit his head on the side of the pool. And an hour later, he seemed fine kind of right after, but an hour later, he started vomiting. He couldn't remember things. And then he blacked out. He fell asleep. And my brother-in-law, who's a general surgeon, said that he thought that Matthew had symptoms of a mild concussion. And so we didn't take him to the hospital. We didn't do the scans that were recommended. We just knew that it was his body that needed to heal. And if we gave it time, we just gave him rest and did the practice, and his body could heal. So we took him home from his granddaddy's house, just, him sleeping, and just getting him home. Then as soon as I could, I contacted Martha and Vladimir about how to help Matthew, how to help him with his practice and what had happened. And they were able to instruct me on how to modify his breathing and how to help his body heal, just the process that would take. And I put Matthew on a juice fast to just make his digestion really light, because his body did not want to digest things. It wanted to heal. It wanted to heal his brain and his head. His inflammation needed to stay down. Yeah, putting him on juices, and then modifying his practice where he was just sitting still, doing breath holds very gently. He was able to heal from a mild concussion at 5 years old, and regain his strength, regain his digestion. it got even better than it was because of continuing to practice and doing the juicing. Like his health actually even got better. And today he has no problems with eating. Um, he digests well. He doesn't have any food avoidance. He loves food, loves to even try new foods, which is huge and amazing. He's excited about food. He'll tell me, "Oh, mommy, this is so yummy. I love this." And I mean, just night and day from where we used to be. It's really wonderful and amazing.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that story, because I think it's very inspiring to see some sort of transformation, particularly in a young person, because there's so much unnecessary suffering. And with care and attention and persistence, it's possible.
Yes. And I know as a mom, I've had to help my own self. Like I would not have known how to help Matthew through these times. I would not have known how to keep calm during these times if I had not been practicing as well. It helps me have a clear head and know how to help him. It's very important not to wait till later when they're older. Like kids don't want to do it when they're older, but when they're young, then that's all they know. That's all they know is that they are supposed to do their breathing practice and that how it helps him. And actually now, if Matthew has a behavior problem, if it's time for him to do his breathing, I'll say, so we used to take toys away for him getting in trouble or having and now I just say, it's time to do your breathing, and he goes, oh yes, that's going to help. Like he's realized, he knows, can understand, like, oh yes, I'm going to feel better after I do my breathing practice. Him knowing it helps, me knowing it helps, and just not waiting just because that's normal for him to do his breathing. It's huge to start early.